thousands of years, the priestesses of ancient Egypt, the temples of Eleusis, and the Taoist schools knew a secret. They understood that true feminine power is not born in the light. It is forged in the Athanor, the sacred furnace hidden deep within the womb. This knowledge was systematically destroyed. Women were taught to fear their fire, to suppress their rage, to extinguish the flame of life force. And now you feel it, something ancient, smoldering inside. But you don't know how to ignite it. You wake, exhausted, as if you spent the entire night putting out an internal blaze. Energy drains from your body like water through a shattered vessel. You give to everyone, your partner, your children, your work, but you remain empty, hollow. You feel rage building inside, but you're terrified to release it. The fear whispers, if you open that door, everything will burn. But your body remembers. Your womb holds the codes of fire. This fire doesn't destroy, it transmutes. It transforms the lead of exhaustion into the gold of power. It burns away the old, so the new can be born. This is the Athanor, the sacred furnace within you, where the great work occurs. The Athanor is not metaphor. In alchemical tradition, the Athanor is the furnace where base metals transmute into gold. In feminine alchemy, the Athanor is the womb itself, the space of creation and transformation. Ancient priestesses knew this truth. The womb is not merely an organ of childbirth. It is an energetic crucible where a woman can transmute any energy, pain into strength, rage into creativity, shame into sovereignty. But this requires fire. The fire of the womb is not physical heat. It is life force itself. Kundalini, the primal energy of Shakti. When this fire sleeps, you are depleted. When it ignites chaotically, you burn from within with anxiety and fury. When it burns consciously, true power is born. Society trained you to extinguish this fire. Be soft. Don't be angry. Control yourself. But suppressed fire doesn't disappear. It transforms into inflammation, reproductive system diseases, chronic exhaustion. Your body is screaming, "Return my fire to me." In the next few minutes, you will discover why the emptiness you feel is not random. It is the first sacred stage of an ancient alchemical process that will return you to your power. Let me guide you into the first gate, the gate every initiate must pass through. Nigredo, the blackening, the descent into the womb's darkness. This is where your journey begins. Not in light, but in shadow. Not in hope, but in the void. The Eleusinian mysteries of ancient Greece, the priestesses of Isis in Egypt, the women's alchemy schools of Taoist China, all knew this path. They understood that before the fire can burn, you must first descend into the cold ashes. You must meet what has been buried. The womb is not just flesh and blood. In Taoist tradition, it is the lower Dan Tian, the energetic furnace, the cauldron of transformation. When the fire goes out, this space becomes a tomb, a cemetery of unspoken words, suppressed rage, accumulated pain. Nigredo feels like this. You wake and there is nothing. Not sadness exactly. Worse, emptiness. A void where your life force should be. You look in the mirror and barely recognize yourself. Not because you've aged, but because the light behind your eyes has dimmed. You go through the motions, work, relationships, responsibilities, but you are not present. You are a ghost walking through your own life. This is not depression. This is initiation. Every spiritual tradition recognized a dark night of the soul. Your emptiness is not pathology. It is sacred. It is the womb calling you back to the ancient mysteries. Your womb holds energetic imprints of every lover who entered your body, of every trauma that passed through your lineage, of rage you were forbidden to express. These imprints settle in the womb like sediment at the bottom of a well, layer upon layer, year after year. The womb becomes heavy, dense, cold. This darkness you feel, this is the raw material of your transformation. In alchemy, Nigredo is the stage where the false self dies, where everything that is not truly you begins to decompose. You cannot skip this stage. You cannot bypass the encounter with the void. The fire cannot ignite until you meet what lies beneath the ashes. Society tells you to avoid the darkness, to stay busy, to keep smiling, to push through. But the ancient priestesses knew. The descent into Nigredo is the gateway to power. The womb's darkness is not your enemy. It is the fertile soil where your true fire will be born. Nigredo is only the beginning. What happens next is where the actual fire ignites, where the cold furnace begins to warm, where the great work truly commences. You have descended into Nigredo. You have met the darkness. Now we light the match. This is the second stage, kindling the Athanor, igniting the first flame within the sacred furnace. The fire was never gone. It was buried, smothered under years of suppression, exhaustion, shame. But the ember still glows beneath the ashes. It waits for you to blow life back into it. How do
do you reignite a furnace that has gone cold? You use the most ancient tool, breath. Your breath is the bellows, the instrument that fans the ember into flame. This is not mystical poetry. This is physiology meeting spirit. Oxygen feeds all combustion. Fire cannot exist without air. When you breathe deeply into your womb space, you are literally feeding oxygen to the dormant energy center. You are stoking the coals. But understand this, there are two kinds of fire. Chaotic fire. This is anxiety, inflammation, rage that consumes you from within. This fire destroys. It leaves you burned out, depleted, sick. Conscious fire. This is vitality, creative power, life force flowing through you like a river of light. This fire illuminates, it sustains, it transforms. The difference is awareness. The difference is intention. The difference is practice. In a moment, I will give you the first practice, the practice that begins to warm the Athanor. But first, you must understand what you will feel. The first heat is subtle. It arrives as warmth in your lower belly, a tingling, a sense of aliveness where there was numbness. Some women feel it immediately. Others need 7 days of daily practice before the ember begins to glow. Do not expect explosion. Do not expect volcanic eruption. This is not how sacred fire ignites. First comes the slow warming, the gentle heat, the patient return of life. Now, the first practice, the womb fire breath. Sit comfortably. Place both hands on your lower belly, covering the space of your womb. Feel the warmth of your palms against your skin. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply into your belly, allowing it to expand fully. As you inhale, visualize a golden red ember glowing at the center of your womb. Small at first, like the last coal in a dying fire. As you exhale, see this ember grow brighter, warmer, expanding outward into your entire pelvic bowl. Inhale. The ember receives oxygen, glows brighter. Exhale. The warmth spreads, filling your womb space with gentle fire. Notice any sensations: warmth, tingling, perhaps resistance, a tightness that doesn't want to release. Simply observe. Do not force. The fire returns in its own time. Practice this for 5 to 7 minutes each day, ideally in the morning, before the world makes demands on your energy. Within 7 days, you will feel it. The return of warmth, of aliveness, your womb space awakening. For many women, desire returns. Not only sexual desire, but desire for life itself. Creative energy flowing where there was stagnation. Once the fire begins to burn, something miraculous happens. But first, it must purify. It must burn away everything that does not belong to you. And that is the white flame of the third stage. The fire has awakened. Now it must cleanse. This is Albedo, the whitening, the purification stage of the great work. The fire that burned red and kindling now burns white, hotter, cleaner. This is the flame that does not consume. It clarifies. It separates gold from dross, truth from illusion, what is yours from what was never meant to be carried. Your womb is energetically porous. It absorbs, it holds, it remembers. Every man who entered your body left an imprint, energetic residue that settles in the tissues. Not just lovers, every partner, every encounter, consensual or not. The womb recorded it all. But it goes deeper. Your womb holds trauma passed down through your maternal line. Your mother's unexpressed rage. Your grandmother's silenced grief. Generations of women who were taught that their power was dangerous, their sexuality shameful, their fire forbidden. This is not metaphor. This is energetic reality. The womb is a vessel. When it is not consciously cleared, it becomes a storage unit for pain that is not even yours. And then there is the shame, the programming, society's voice whispering, your desire is wrong, your anger is ugly, your power is threatening. Stay small, stay quiet, stay safe. Albedo burns it all away. The white fire is merciless. It does not ask permission. It does not negotiate. It enters the sacred furnace of your womb and incinerates everything that does not belong to your sovereign truth. This stage can be intense. As the fire burns, emotions surface. You may cry without knowing why. Rage may erupt from nowhere. Names and faces may appear in your mind. Lovers you thought you'd forgotten. Wounds you thought had healed. Let them come. Let them burn. This is purification, not punishment. The white fire burns for 21 days. This is the alchemical cycle of deep clearing. You cannot rush it. You cannot skip it. You must tend the flame daily. The second practice, the Albedo purification ritual. Sit in a quiet space where you will not be disturbed. Place both palms against your womb, covering the entire lower belly. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Visualize brilliant white flame filling the entire womb cavity. See it blazing, purifying,
burning away all that is not yours. Speak these words aloud, or whisper them internally. I release all that is not mine. All energy that does not serve my highest truth, I return to the elements. Allow your body to move as it needs. Shake, tremble, cry. Make sound if it wants to come. Your body knows how to release what it has held. Notice what arises. Names, faces, memories, emotions you cannot name. Simply witness. Do not grasp. Do not push away. Let the white fire do its work. Practice this for 10 to 15 minutes daily for 21 days. This is the sacred cycle of clearing. Your womb will know when the work is complete. By the end of this cycle, you will feel it. The space inside is yours again. Lighter, clearer, clean. The heaviness in your pelvis dissolves. You may dream of closure, of completion, of doors finally closing on the past. After purification comes something women have been taught to fear most: the return of light, the awakening of desire, the dawn breaking after the dark night of the soul. The white fire has done its work. The Athanor is clean. Now, something begins to glow. Citrinitas, the yellowing, the dawn after Nigredo's midnight. This is the stage when life returns, not as explosion, but as sunrise. Slow, inevitable, undeniable. You wake one morning and notice there is color again. The world seems brighter, more vivid. Food tastes richer. Music moves through your body differently. You catch yourself smiling for no reason. This is not happiness, not yet. This is something deeper. This is vitality. The return of your life force after its long winter. In alchemical tradition, yellow represents the sun, solar consciousness awakening. Where the moon was receptive, clearing, releasing, letting go, the sun is active, creating, desiring, reaching toward life. And desire returns. Not just sexual desire, though that may awaken too, but desire for life itself, desire to create, to move, to speak, to be seen, to take up space without apology. If you feel guilt for wanting things for yourself, hear this. Your desire is not selfishness. It is the voice of your life force returning. It is the fire saying, I am here. I am alive. I want to live fully. For too long, you were taught that wanting is dangerous, that desire leads to destruction, that good women sacrifice their needs for others.
This is the lie that keeps the fire cold. Citrinitas teaches you desire is sacred. It is the yellow flame that says, I am ready to create again. I am ready to live again. I am ready to claim my place in the world again. This stage feels like spring after endless winter. Tentative at first. You're not sure if you can trust the warmth. You've been cold for so long. But the sun keeps rising. The yellow light keeps growing. And one day you realize the dawn is not false. The light is real. You are coming back to life. But desire alone is not enough. Light alone cannot protect you. To claim true power, you must meet the fire that society feared most in you. The red fire, the blood fire, the sacred rage that was stolen from you before you even knew you had the right to feel it. We arrive at the fifth gate, the gate of blood and fire. Rubedo, the reddening, the great fire, the full activation of power. This is where everything you have been taught to suppress comes roaring back. This is where the sacred rage returns. In the ancient temple traditions of India, there is a story. The goddess Durga faced demons who could not be defeated. She tried diplomacy. She tried patience. She tried mercy. Nothing worked. So from the center of her forehead, a new goddess emerged. Kali, the Dark Mother. Tongue out, eyes blazing, dripping with the blood of demons she had destroyed. Kali is what happens when a gentle goddess is disrespected for too long. Kali is sacred rage incarnate, and she does not apologize. Your rage is not pathology. It is not something to medicate, suppress, or manage. Your rage is the guardian of your sacred boundaries. It is the fire that says, no more, not one more step, not one more violation, not one more erasure of my truth. Women have been conditioned to fear their own rage. Don't be angry. Don't raise your voice. Don't make a scene. Be nice. Be accommodating. Be soft. And what happens? The rage doesn't disappear. It goes underground. It turns inward. It becomes autoimmune disease, fibroids, endometriosis, chronic pelvic pain, the body attacking itself because the rage has nowhere else to go. Rubedo is red for a reason. Red is blood. Red is life force at full power. Red is the color of boundaries enforced, of truth spoken, of fire that protects rather than destroys. You fear your rage will be destructive. You fear if you let it out, you will burn everything down. Relationships, career, your carefully constructed life. Listen. Rage expressed through the body transforms into power. Rage suppressed becomes poison. There is a difference between toxic anger that lasts lashes out blindly, harming everyone in its path, and sacred rage that rises like a wall of flame to protect what is holy. Toxic anger comes from the mind. It blames, it attacks, it seeks revenge. Sacred rage comes from the womb. It protects, it establishes boundaries. It says, this far and no further. The fire of Rubedo includes all emotions, not just rage, but joy, grief, ecstasy, sorrow, all of it at full intensity. This is what it means to be alive, fully, without apology. The third practice, the dance of sacred rage. Find a private space where no one will disturb you. Put on rhythmic music, drums, primal beats, anything that makes your body want to move. Stand. Begin swaying your hips, your pelvis. Let the movement grow wild. Shake, thrust, stomp your feet. Let your hands claw the air. Let your voice growl, roar, scream if it wants to. There is no choreography. This is not performance. This is pure instinctual release. Your body knows what it needs to do. Trust it. Notice where tension releases, usually the hips, the jaw, the shoulders. Allow trembling. This is stored energy discharging from your nervous system. Practice this for 10 to 20 minutes, 3 to 4 times weekly during the initial clearing. You will feel it. The chronic tension in your pelvis dissolving. Power returning to your voice. The ability to say no without guilt, without explanation, without apology. Now that the fire burns fully, the question becomes, how do you live with this much power without burning out? How do you maintain the flame without consuming yourself? That is the work of integration. The fire burns fully, powerfully. Now comes the true test. The challenge is not igniting the Athanor. The challenge is sustaining it. Living with constant inner fire without exhaustion, without burning out, without consuming yourself from within. There are 2 kinds of fire, remember. Fire that consumes, fire that illuminates. Fire that consumes. This is inflammation, anxiety, chronic stress. You feel hot, agitated, unable to rest. Your nervous system stays in constant alarm. This fire depletes you. Fire that illuminates. This is vitality, clarity, creative power flowing through you like a river of light. You feel energized, but not frantic, powerful, but not overwhelming. This fire sustains you. The difference is not the intensity of the fire. The difference is how you tend it. Every hearth needs daily care. Every flame needs fuel, oxygen, rest. Your Athanor is no different. Ignore its needs, and it will either burn too hot or go cold again. Your body will tell you what the fire needs. Learn its language. When the fire runs too hot, inflammation, racing thoughts, inability to sleep, it needs cooling, water, rest, slowness, gentle movement instead of intensity. When the fire dims, exhaustion, numbness, disconnection, it needs stoking, breath, movement, sound. Return to the practices that first awakened it. Integration means bringing the Athanor's wisdom into daily life, not as something you do once and forget, as a living relationship with your own life force. The fourth practice, sound of power. Stand or sit with your spine straight, feet planted on the earth. Feel your connection to the ground beneath you. Take a deep breath into your belly. Let it fill completely. Then release with a long, low sound. Ah. Let it come from the base of your pelvis, from the root of your womb. Feel the vibration in your bones, in your womb, in your entire pelvic bowl. This is your sovereign voice returning, the voice that was silenced, the voice that knows how to speak truth without apology. Practice this for 3 to 5 minutes daily, especially when you need to speak truth, set a boundary, or claim your space in the world. You will feel it, the restoration of power in your voice, the ability to hold space for yourself without collapse, the groundedness that comes from being rooted in your own body, your own truth. If this seems like too much work, hear this. Tending your fire is not extra work. It is your life. Everything else flows from this. Your relationships, your creativity, your ability to move through the world with presence and power. All of it depends on the state of your inner fire. And when you master this, when the fire becomes your constant companion, when you can tend it without thinking, when it burns steadily day and night, something miraculous occurs. You become the Athanor itself. We arrive at the 7th gate, the completion of the great work. You are no longer seeking the philosopher's stone. You have become it. In alchemical tradition, the philosopher's stone is the substance that transmutes base metal into gold, lead into luminosity, suffering into wisdom, chaos into order. The ancient alchemists searched for it in laboratories, in herbs, in minerals. They did not understand. The stone is not found. It is forged through fire. Through the 7 stages you have walked. You are the stone. You are the living vessel,
of transmutation. This means whatever energy enters your field, you can transform it. Pain becomes wisdom. Rage becomes protective power. Grief becomes depth. Fear becomes fuel for courage. You no longer react unconsciously. You alchemize. You transmute. You transform. This is not abstract mysticism. This shows up in your daily life.
Someone crosses your boundary. Before, you would have collapsed, people-pleased, swallowed your anger, and smiled. Now, the fire rises. You speak. You hold the line. You do not apologize for protecting what is sacred. Difficulty arrives. Loss, betrayal, unexpected challenge. Before, you would have been consumed by it, knocked off center for days or weeks. Now, you feel it fully. You let the fire of the Athanor receive it, process it, transform it. You emerge stronger, clearer, more sovereign. This does not mean you are invulnerable. You will still feel pain. You will still grieve. You will still be human. But you are no longer at the mercy of what happens to you. You have become the space where transformation occurs, the living furnace, the breathing Athanor. The final practice seals this understanding into your body, your energy, your daily awareness. The fifth practice, Philosopher's Stone Meditation. Sit comfortably, hands in your lap or resting on your womb. Spine straight but not rigid. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Visualize a golden, radiant sphere in the center of your womb. This is the Philosopher's Stone you have created through these 7 stages. See it pulsing with light, warm, alive, pure transmutational power. Bring to mind any current challenge, any lead, difficulty, pain, confusion, fear. See it clearly. Feel it in your body. Now feed it into the golden sphere. Watch it enter the light. Watch the stone do what it does. Transform. The energy shifts. The darkness becomes luminous. The heaviness becomes spacious. The confusion becomes clarity. Notice how your perspective changes. Notice the energetic shift in your entire body. This is not imagination. This is the Philosopher's Stone working within you. Practice this for 10 to 15 minutes as needed, especially during challenging times, when you feel overwhelmed, when you need to remember who you have become. This practice anchors you in your sovereignty, your ability to maintain center regardless of external circumstances, your lived experience of the truth, You are not at the mercy of life. You are the alchemist. You shape reality from within. And now you must choose. Now you know. The Athanor exists within you. The 7 stages are not theory. They are the map your body has been waiting for. The path your womb has been calling you toward through every moment of exhaustion, every flash of suppressed rage, every whisper of, "There must be more than this." And here is the truth you cannot escape. You can never unknow this. You can ignore it. You can close this video and return to your life. You can pretend you didn't feel the recognition in your womb when I spoke of the fire. You can tell yourself it's too mystical, too strange, too much. But you cannot become unknowing again. The moment you recognized yourself in Nigredo's darkness, something shifted. The moment you felt the first warmth of the kindling fire, something awakened. The moment you understood that your rage is sacred, that your desire is holy, that your power is your birthright, you crossed a threshold. There is no going back to innocence. There is only forward or frozen. Part of you wants to close this now, to forget, to stay safe in the familiar exhaustion. That is the part that is afraid of your power. The part that was trained to stay small, stay quiet, stay extinguished. But another part, the part that brought you here, that part knows. That part remembers. That part has been waiting for this moment your entire life. Every day from this moment forward, you choose cold Athanor or burning transformation, suppressed fire or sovereign power, living half alive or fully ignited. The ancient priestesses walked this path before you. They tended the sacred fire in temples that no longer stand. They knew the 7 gates. They became living vessels of transmutation. Their bodies, like yours, were Athanors. You are joining a lineage that stretches back thousands of years. Women who chose fire over numbness, power over safety, truth over comfort. The question is not whether the path exists. The path is here. The question is, will you walk it? The choice is yours, and the path does not end here. Transformation is not linear. It is spiral. You will return to Nigredo again. Life will bring you back to darkness, to emptiness, to the void. But each time, you will know the way through. Each time, you will remember. This is not failure. This is the spiral, returning you to deeper layers. Each descent takes you further into your power. Each cycle of the 7 gates reveals truths you could not see before. You do not have to do this perfectly. The Athanor does not demand perfection. It asks only for presence, for willingness, for devotion to your own life force. The practices I have given you are not tasks to complete. They are not achievements to check off a list. They are conversations with your womb, invitations to return home to your body, keys to the temple that has always lived within you. Your body knows the way. It has known since before you were born. Trust it. You are not alone in this work. The ancient priestesses of Isis in Egypt walked these 7 gates. They tended the sacred fire in temples that are now dust. The Taoist women alchemists circulated energy through the lower Dantian, transforming their wombs into furnaces of immortality. The priestesses of Eleusis descended into underworld darkness and emerged with the secrets of rebirth. They knew what you are remembering now. The womb is not a burden. It is a portal. The fire is not dangerous. It is your birthright. The rage is not shameful. It is sacred protection. The power is not too much. It is exactly what you need. If you fear you might fail, hear this. The only failure is abandoning yourself again, returning to the cold Athanor, choosing numbness over aliveness, safety over sovereignty. Every morning you wake and tend the flame. Some days it burns bright. Some days it flickers. Some days you forget. And then you remember, and you return. This is the practice. This is the path. The Athanor burns within you. It has always been burning. You are just remembering how to tend the flame. The work is sacred. You are sacred. The philosopher's stone is being forged within you right now. If this resonated with you, if something in your womb stirred as these words were spoken, share in the comments below. Which stage are you in right now? Are you in Nigredo's darkness, meeting the void? Are you in Albedo, burning away what is not yours? Have you reached Rubedo, feeling the sacred rage returning? Or are you integrating, learning to live with the fire burning steadily within? Let me know. I read every comment. I witness every word you share. And now, a final blessing for your journey. May your Athanor burn bright. May you remember the fire is your birthright,
not your burden. May you tend the flame with the devotion it deserves. May you descend into Nigredo without fear. May you purify in Albedo without shame. May you ignite in Rubedo without apology. May you transmute all that you touch into gold. The work is sacred. You are sacred. The 7 gates are open. The path is yours to walk. The sacred fire lives in you. Tend it well.